All right, everybody. So I'm going to go through a little bit of a stretching routine. And the purpose of this stretching routine is to be a shortened, condensed version that can be used for post-workout. This can also be done just as a standalone thing. Two short, simple movements, and we're going to talk about stretching for the lower extremities today. First thing we're going to do is we're going to stretch our hamstrings. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn so you can see what's going on. But what I want you to do is I want your hips to be right close to the edge of the seat. Your knees are going to start bent. That's going to give us time to make sure that we're sitting up nice and tall. But what I want you to do is I want you to take one leg, put the foot out in front of you, and the most important thing is that the knee is straight. Second most important thing is that the toe comes towards your face. While you're sitting up nice and tall, you might find this may be enough of a stretch, but you can take it just a little bit further, and you're going to feel an even deeper stretch to the back of the leg. All I want you focusing from this point on is trying to press that knee closer and closer to the ground. If it's straight like how mine is, that's what we want, okay? I also want you making sure that your back is up nice and tall and that you're breathing in through your nose and out through the mouth. We've spent about 30 seconds stretching already. We're going to spend about another 90 seconds, which is a minute and a half here in this stretching. Keep that breath. The more you breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, the more you're going to notice that stretch to loosen up a little bit. You may even find that it's going to take you into a deeper stretch. That's all okay as long as we stay tall and the knee stays straight here in this stretch. We have about another minute here. Keep working that chest, staying up nice and tall. And keep working on that breath. About 30 more seconds. In about 10 seconds, we're going to switch sides and do the same thing on the other leg. Very good. Go ahead and slowly come out of that. You can bend this knee, straighten the other leg out. Let's make sure that we're sitting nice and tall. I'm going to turn my chair so you can see what's going on the other side. You're up nice and tall. The knee is straight. Let's lean in for a good stretch. We're going to be here for 2 minutes. So go back to that breathing again. Remember that breath is in through the nose and then out through the mouth. Now you may find that one side might be tighter than the other. That's okay. The goal is going to be to go as deep as you can without pain or discomfort. We're looking for when you stretch to have a good tugging, but it shouldn't be like a yanking or a sharp pain. You're going to feel that little bit of that sensation specifically here through the back of the leg, maybe even some into the ankle as long as you're keeping your toe up, which is what we want. Let's continue focusing on that breath. And we're going to spend about another minute here. We're doing this stretch for 2 minutes apiece. Keep on breathing. We're going to have just about another 30 seconds here. Don't let yourself get tired and start rounding at that back. Remember, the most important thing is that we stay sitting up nice and tall while we stretch. It opens those hamstrings up. This is a stretch for your hamstrings. By rounding, we turn that musculature off. We want that musculature to stay on, so we do that by sitting up nice and tall. So a nice, tall, proud chest. And let's slowly come on out of this. You can kind of shake it out for a second. The next one we're going to do is actually a stretch for the glute muscle back here. There's a muscle called a piriformis. It has a really funny name, but what we're going to do is this is going to be your typical seated leg cross stretch. You're going to take your ankle, and your goal is to go ankle to opposite knee. You're going to sit nice and tall. You're going to turn your shoulders toward the bent knee. And then while you stay sitting up nice and tall, you can lean in. Now you're going to find this is the more aggressive of the option. There is a way to make this easier. To make it easier, you would not put your ankle on your opposite knee. You would put your ankle across your opposite ankle. You would still sit nice and tall. You would still rotate your body towards the bent knee and lean in for a deeper stretch. We've stretched for about 30 seconds so far. We're going to go for about another minute and a half. I'm going to do the stretch from this portion for the rest of the time, but keep in mind, if you do need more of a stretch, feel free to cross at that leg. You're going to find that through this stretch, you're feeling it right back here in that glute, and that's what we want. So let's go back to our breathing again, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Remember, our spine should stay nice and tight because we're sitting up nice and tall. Let's take about 5 more deep breaths. We're going to do 2 more deep breaths. And 1 more time. Very good. Let's come out of this by sitting up tall nice and first. Then rotate your body. And then slowly pull that ankle off the opposite knee or ankle. I'm going to do the harder option this time just so you can see both options, okay? So you're going to take your other ankle and either lace it across your opposite ankle or across your opposite knee. So make sure you're sitting up nice and tall. You may even find that just sitting up tall is just enough of a stretch, and that's okay. The turning and hinging adds more of a stretch, okay? So any of these options are all okay as long as you feel it right there in the back of that glute. We're going to be here for about another 90 seconds. Let's reestablish our breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. We're going to take about another 5 deep breaths here. The goal should be letting that knee relax more and more into a deeper stretch the more you use your breath. Again, breathing through stretching is a very good thing. Let's take about another 3 deep breaths here. One more. Very good. Rotate that body back to start. Slowly let that knee come out of it. Kind of shake your lower body out a little bit. If you stand up, you might feel yourself be about 10 feet taller. Great. Very nice job today. Continue to use this stretching on your own.